put those. Oh, David Queener running for county. Look at the signs he's got in his yard.
Good evening, and welcome to the locker room. E.T.,
Yes.
always a pleasure.
Oh, Ron, I tell you,
Always a pleasure.
I want everybody to know, David and I argue over this, and you've never bought him nothing, according to David.
Oh my gosh, you know better than
I do.
that. Okay.
And of course, you always get me these Starbucks
you know,
before, and
you
then
know.
I brought it in today, and
You
I
know
sent the
that.
text to David. He's somewhere. I bet he's in Georgia because you
Well-
just came back from there.
Well, no, he's freeloading somewhere in Florida, as he always does. But that's okay. You know, I for some reason he wants to chastise me all the time. I'm tickled that he's found him a free place to stay for a week's vacation.
Is he that tight?
Oh, his wife deserves it. You know, she deserves it.
Now I agree with that.
Oh yeah, she
Seriously.
deserves it.
I totally agree with what you're saying.
But Matt, it's great to have you with us.
Well, good. It's just a great time. Now, some of the spring sports is my favorite, and I know a few of the ads at some of these high schools, and I don't know how they do it because they may be 5 different teams playing on one given night,
Right.
and somebody from athletic department kind of got to be there, and I just don't know how you get enough volunteers for those 5 games that's going on. But teams are losing now. You know, the best is rising to the top, and I think Clinton lost both baseball and softball last night, which put them out of.
Yeah, they lost to Carnes.
Absolutely.
10 to
And-
nothing in baseball.
Then they lost to Anderson County last night in baseball.
And in softball, they lost to Anderson County 13 to
Yep.
3. So they're eliminated. And you're right. Tonight and tomorrow night will be elimination games. Powell beat Central, so they've eliminated Central. Midway beat Harriman. They've eliminated Harriman. Rockwood beat Cofield. So Harriman and Cofield are playing, I think, tonight, and then Rockwood will get the winner for that championship.
Exactly right.
So we're moving in. We're moving right along.
A couple of friends in Clinton. Casey Taylor used to coach Clinton, and he got the job at Sevierville, and he's had some pretty good years up at Sevierville. And they went up to see him the other night, and they're still winning in their district. Usually a very talented baseball team. Matter of fact, that Lingfender, I guess his name, was the stud pitcher for Sevierville, and he's starting for UT and
Starting
having a
UT.
good year. So
Had a good year. In fact, beat Kentucky, I think, over the weekend.
absolutely.
And UT's playing Vanderbilt this weekend, and they have a chance for the first time in many years to get back to Hoover. So
that would be they've talked to that coach 2 or 3 times. It's like you and I talking to each other. He's just a different guy.
Just a different-
I enjoy hearing a conversation with him, but I don't know, Ron, if he's got that talent-wise a better club than they've had in the last 2 or 3 years, and I just wonder what the difference, because they pulled off 3 or 4 series wins over top
13.
20 ball clubs.
Kentucky was 13.
Exactly.
They had
I think
LSU down, and
Was
LSU
it Alabama
was up.
earlier in the year?
And I think it's a combination. I think he's probably got, and I don't know about more talent, but I think he's got a more experienced team this year.
Maybe.
That extra
Maybe
year makes a lot of
big
difference for a
difference.
freshman pitcher coming in as a sophomore, doesn't it?
I don't know how you, and of course in Florida it happens, and in the West Coast it happens. I don't know how you get a very talented ball club and you keep them for long, and I don't know how you get them out of high school once they get an offer of any amount of money, and it seems like those kids, oh man, this is my chance, and I understand that.
That's right.
But you could have a great recruiting list already inked, and by the time the draft, it's struck, half of those guys are coming, and now you got to make do. And it's, like I say, West Coast, it works a whole lot better, I guess, because you play baseball.
Well, and the thing is, you go back to Delmonico, and Delmonico was the last UT coach, I guess, to take a team to Omaha, and he was able to do it somewhat consistently because he had 3 sons.
Yep, true.
And they got best, better,
Yep, absolutely.
and he was able to do that.
I mean, Central High School sent him 3 or 4 pretty good ball
Central
players.
sent him some good ones. So, because my thing is, E.T., is how do you take anybody in the top 10 or top 15 or top 25 players and bring them to Knoxville, Tennessee, where you might play the first 15 games.
Snowflakes. But
Terrible weather.
totally agree. Opposed to LSU, Florida, Ole Miss,
Mississippi State,
and then the West Coast.
Florida teams that win.
Exactly.
So I think they're behind the 8 ball pretty much in baseball. So I think if you can consistently make the SEC tournament, and every 5 or 6 years you can get to a regional, and every couple of years you can get to a regional final.
Sure.
I think you better hang on to what you got.
I don't know how deep he is in pitching. I think his first couple starters had decent years, and I don't know what he has after that, which would get you maybe to the regionals. But if you fall short there, you're not going to make it.
Yeah, because when you start playing in the SEC tournament, even you're gonna throw. You better have a lot of arms.
Well, yeah, you're going to play games back to back and so forth like that just to get that tournament over with. I understand.
You got to get them.
And high schools too, and these are teams that's going to go to the region and the state. Let's say you got 4 starters and they're all seniors, and one happens to be left-handed. Man, you're looking good.
You're looking really good.
Exactly.
Especially single A.
Totally. Right.
And
exactly.
especially now where you have the private schools out of there.
Again.
And you talk about relief. Single A spring sports probably got the most relief of any classification
when that happened, yes.
of anyone
Right, exactly.
when they did that.
When they did that.
Because almost every private school athlete, whether it's baseball, whether it's golf, whether it's tennis, whether it's track, they have a coach.
Absolutely.
They have a coach, a private coach, not the head coach, a hitting coach, a pitching coach, a tennis coach, a golf coach that they're getting on the side.
Exactly. Yeah. Past practice time.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So it was huge for single A schools to get out of that.
Some of your better clubs in Knoxville, I get the Farragut's and the Hardin Valleys and the Beardens are probably going to do well. Sevierville again is pretty strong. I think they won close to 25 ball games this year. So they'll come out of there, and of course you reach on up to Greenville, they're usually good in about everything.
Farragut actually got off to probably the slowest start they've gotten off to this year. Then they hit that middle, which if you're coaching, you want to win them all, but you'd certainly rather be slow at the beginning than at the end. So they hit that little lull, and then they took off on a really nice streak. And don't be surprised they've got a couple transfers in, which I'm not sure why you would want to transfer in.
Oh, I do something like
to Farragut.
Exactly right.
When they're loaded.
Well, you get off the slow start. You're dealing with cold weather, rain, and then it will turn warm, and that's.
So if you do transfer into Farragut,
yep,
you know there's something special. Because they're going to bump somebody out of a starting lineman, and that's what happened.
Then that's what happened. Exactly right.
But look for Farragut to go, to go right along. They got upset last year in the region, but they'll use that for motivation this year to get back to Murfreesboro.
Totally right. Exactly.
But it's a fun time of year.
It is.
You got spring football practice going on.
Started up. Most of them are practicing
for a lot of places.
Exactly.
And you got spring sports going on with the tournaments. School's almost out, and high school football coaches will finish spring, give their kids a couple of weeks off. There'll be the dead period, and before you know it, it's the end of June, and you're 7-on-7, getting ready to start. David and I went over the schedules for Anderson County, Clinton, and Oak Ridge a couple of weeks ago. And I noticed like the first game is August 17th. I mean, it seems to be early. If you've got those there. As a matter of fact, I thought that was one of the things. Before we do that, though, let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some high school football right after this.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
In today's world, you don't stay in business long without providing exceptional customer service. The Duff family has been providing exceptional customer service for over 44 years. Our customers rate us highly, as shown by the fact we're the only dealer in Tennessee to have earned the Subaru Love Promise Award for 7 years in a row. Check our online reviews or ask your friends. They'll tell you to come to Earl Duff Subaru, where buying is a pleasure.
Choose financing as low as 0% on all new 2018 Forester models at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
And welcome back to the locker room. And again, E.T. Stamey with us tonight. Appreciate him coming in. David Queener, well, I hope he's having fun. He's got the credit card, and he's out and about down in Florida. He got free room and probably got free meals. I'm sure he's bummed some meals and stuff.
Oh, he's run into an
down
NFL
right
great,
now,
and
so,
they've set him down to feed him.
But he hope he's having a good time. Hope it hadn't rained too much on him. But you mentioned high school football, and boy, we've been spoiled.
Absolutely.
We've been spoiled in East Tennessee on high school football.
Well, that's where the trophies come back to, Ron. And you go to Middle Tennessee, and you come back with an armful of trophies. And talking to John Ferris today, you and I were talking before the show, and his son coaches at Duke, and his son was in Knoxville area today, making about 7 stops. I think one of his best friends is up around Carter, so he started at Carter and came this way and ended up, I think, at Farragut. And he went by Catholic. I think they got the Mays kid.
Yes.
And I asked him, you had to ask him, okay, the older brother went to Georgia. What went wrong there? And of course, I think his father obviously was a very talented player at UT, but had some real differences with Butch Jones. Now, I don't know what they were. May have been on the field, maybe just the philosophy of Butch Jones he didn't like. But anyway, they're making the comments at Georgia that he would start as a freshman.
Well, he was. I actually talked to Kevin.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he started the spring number 2, but he said, I said, well, so what that tells me is that if he has any of his dad's spunk, he said, don't need to say anything else. Said he's got more than I had, and I said, well, then he'll be starting.
Yep.
But they were real high on him. They liked his work ethic. They liked they liked his ability to be coached, which a lot of that comes from his high school.
Oh, absolutely.
From his high school
Where he
days.
came from. Right.
But and then they've got the younger brother is going to be
They said not as big,
not as big,
Right.
but he's tougher than nails.
really.
He's tougher than nails.
When we say not as big, what,
Well,
220, 250, what?
Well, and height wise,
He's gonna be shorter.
Yeah, he's not going to be near.
Okay.
Not going to be.
Okay.
Kate had a lot of Kevin's stature,
Right.
but he just likes to hit,
Wow.
and he'll probably end up with 10 or 12 Division
Offers,
I
yeah.
offers, big Power 5 offers. Will he choose to follow his brother? At some point you would think that they want to have a little distinction, and I think some of that was. Although let me go back, I think if Butch Jones had put the Vols in a position to be winning conference championships,
Year in, year out. Right.
I don't think there's any problem. I think Mays is at UT.
Right.
And then I think what happens is, and it happened as well here in Oak Ridge.
You're exactly right.
Go talk, because I asked him, I said, what was the difference? I said, you go spend an hour with Butch Jones and you go spend an hour with Kirby Smart or Sweeney. I said, you tell me where you'd play.
I totally agree with that. And I think that's where the new UT coach will have a difference there.
I think so, but and then I think too, Mays just got a bad rap from the UT people.
He did.
And as it turned out, the joke was on them because of what happened with Butch Jones and
Sure.
and all of this
Sure,
other stuff.
right.
And you have to wonder about even last year, some freshmen that came over last year. Would they have still made that same decision? Had they known? So I thought Mays got a bad rap.
Right. But anyway, he said it was a lot of talent. A lot of coaches think there's a lot of talent in Knoxville. Now that's ranging from Carter
Sure.
to Farragut and everything in
Greenville.
between. Yeah, exactly. So, but he said where Cutcliffe has really sold himself on the Ferris son, John Ferris's son, who coaches at Duke, that he's made extreme contacts and friendships with the Helton bunch at Southern Cal.
Right.
He's head coach,
Right.
and then his brother or
Yes,
son, his
yes.
brother was offensive coordinator.
Here now.
Yes, but now we said what they're doing in California. If Southern Cal or UCLA has got their eye on two quarterbacks, and they get one, they don't want anybody else to get that second one.
Right.
So they're calling people like Duke,
Right.
get him out of state. So he's made contacts like that, and you can't tell me that don't help.
Oh, it's got to.
Especially with an education like he's going to get at Duke.
Well, and it's funny you should mention Duke because last week in the paper, it was talking about different conferences, and it was sort of who's hot and who's not.
Right.
Obviously, Clemson,
Yes,
Florida State,
very hot.
the
Yep.
big boys.
Yes.
But what I thought was really, really interesting, having lived in North Carolina for a while and actually got to play at Duke Stadium in 1958 as a midget football league championship.
Seriously.
And in fact, one of my teammates still probably holds some records at Duke. But Duke wasn't a laughingstock. North Carolina.
North Carolina. Interesting.
And if you had said 20 years ago that North Carolina would be behind Duke in football, you could have made all the money you wanted to make. And I say that to say that's how things are changing just because of what you said. All it takes is a transfer in now.
It's exactly right.
Get you one or two transfers
Exactly.
in.
Right. Well, 1958-59, Clinton had a quarterback named Mark Caldwell. And Mark, I can remember back then you could, on a Sunday, you could drive down and just walk out on the field and run or do whatever you want to. There were no fences, anything. Right. So I remember seeing an older high school athlete, and it was Mark Caldwell at the time, he was on the sidelines on one knee, and he was throwing the football the width of the football field, and he could throw it on one knee, throwing it. So I didn't realize what I was seeing. It's a pretty strong arm there is what I was seeing. Well, he got a scholarship at Duke, and he broke Sonny Jurgensen's records as a freshman. He got hurt, ended up place kicking the rest of the time, got a degree, and came back to Clinton as a dentist. A great story, but even then, Duke was, I've got, if you could get in grade-wise, it's a place to go play football in the early 60s and run through there.
And his biggest fame to claim now is he's married a Rockwood girl.
Seriously. and he's got a ponytail.
We have that conversation a lot. Yeah. Yeah, because and we said it right here, E.T. When Cutcliffe got that job, that was the best fit.
Oh,
for Duke,
and it's probably a laughing stock
and
at the
the
time.
best food and the best fit for Cutcliffe, because we said then, 6 games, win you 6 games and see what happens.
That's exactly right.
You will be loved.
And he's done that.
And he's done that.
Yeah.
And they absolutely, he's got the best job in America. That stadium still had wooden seats in it for years and years and years.
Wow.
And it's still the same old, it's a miniature Rose Bowl.
Exactly.
In fact, I think the Rose Bowl was played there one year because of the design of the
How
stadium.
about
It's just
that?
one level. But Cutcliffe has made, and when you talked about how he was reaching out, I guarantee you Mississippi wishes they had him back.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I guarantee you they wish they had him back.
Well, you know, when this UT didn't have a coach for a while, we didn't know where we were going here not too long ago, and Cutcliffe's name would pop up.
That was,
why he wasn't more interested than I was, you know, to get
his children.
Yep.
You know, his children have gotten an education at Duke, free. He's
well
he will. There will be a statue at Duke at some
Totally.
time. in
Totally
Cutcliffe's
agree with
name.
that. Absolutely.
Guarantee it.
What age is he now?
He's probably about
his 50s maybe?
No, I
No?
think he's early 60s. He's probably
Okay.
63,
So
64,
another 6,
somewhere.
7 years maybe.
But he's having fun. You know, his mother-in-law works at the courthouse down in Roane County part-time, and married a Harriman girl. I'm telling you, Roane County's got
They got
connections.
the celebrities.
Hey, we've got the connection.
Good night.
But she and she gets the benefit of, you know, these bowl trips and stuff. So she just hopes he stays forever.
Absolutely.
But more than anything, man, he's a class act.
He is.
He is a class act.
Absolutely.
Class act.
Good deal.
But and as you say, as we go through and go around the deal now with spring practice, talked to Anderson County the other day, and
they're kind of excited. Totally,
Man, a lot
totally
more than
excited. And they should be, Ron. They've this is an offensive line that grew up together. Norris Middle School, Nagath, which is a smaller.
Remember when they were winning? They didn't win by 7 or 14
Oh no,
points.
they 40 or 50 points. Yeah, exactly. Calling it off in the third quarter.
Yeah, in fact, some coaches got mad, right? Because trying to beat us. Well, we got our third team in. What do you want us to do?
Exactly. So that bunch is seniors now with pretty celebrity quarterback. If we can keep him healthy, and but you know, he got his jaw broke a couple of years ago and his knee in the playoff game. But he's a quality person, probably a 4.0 student, and a good quarterback.
The kid is going to be awesome. He'll be a headhunter on defense and a bruiser on offense, and just wants to giggle all the time. He's just a fun kind of kid to be around.
Second, we found out about the second string quarterback at Anderson County is a Hatmaker kid, extremely strong arm. He can throw the ball a long ways. They're excited about him, and I think they've enrolled him in the Manning passing camp.
The second team.
He's second team quarterback. But you know, when you say that, but that offensive line leaves, that's the combination there may not be the same.
But you know that offense, it really, if you've got some hosses that you can,
totally agree.
They just
kind of a quick
Coach
release
Gillum
offense.
Coach Gillum, that's right. And they've also got a linebacker and a receiver. Is it Pugh?
Not sure of the name, but it sounds about right. Yeah, he's caught a lot of passes last year. They're all
He'll
back.
knock your head off too.
Yeah.
He'll knock your head off.
And
Baseball. I think he's a left-handed baseball pitcher.
Seriously. We noticed their schedule a few minutes ago while we was off the air, and it pretty much mirrors what they had last year, except Chattanooga
Turn 'em around.
Chattanooga teams will be back up here this year. Now they've got a couple of Chattanooga trips, but it favors them more than I don't think they knew what they were really getting into last year traveling Chattanooga. That turned out well for them, and it should turn out well again this year.
They they enjoyed getting on the bus on Fridays.
Well, he can play his second, third team.
Yeah,
getting him a lot of experience.
because if you look at their schedule, Carter, Heritage, Clinton, most everything else is down that way.
What was the best Chattanooga team? Was it the East Ridge team? Were they the most potent of any of them? Because I thought that schedule was kind of weak, and I didn't know what to expect from the Chattanooga teams. Howard used to be pretty good years ago.
Howard used to be pretty good.
Right. So I didn't know what to expect there.
But it's East Ridge is homecoming, so that's
I agree with that.
If that's any.
I wouldn't have done it.
If that's any indication.
Exactly.
But it's Carter, William Blunt. Then they go to Hickson, and the Clinton game will be at home, so that'll be a good game for Anderson County.
I think it's on Thursday. It's a rivalry Thursday game, I think.
I think that's a Channel 10 game.
Clinton probably coming off a open date before that Anderson County game.
Yeah.
Got a phone call there, Rod.
That'll be pretty good.
Hope that's David calling long distance.
You're on the air.
Barry, my man, and E.T. Stamey.
That is Queener there.
Is it?
It is Queener.
I ain't got an earphone.
Hey, David, we hope. How's your free lodging going?
Well, Barry, let me tell you, my wife, Sweetie Pie, as you call her, she said, would you put at least $2.50 on the credit card so we could get a cup of coffee? You didn't put none on there. You forgot.
Well, it's taken care of. It's taken care of down at the Waffle House.
There we go.
Well, the thing about it, I've not seen a Waffle House.
Well, now you may have to drive a mile or two to get to the Waffle House, but everything's.
What you mean? You want me to drive from Alabama to Mississippi or something?
Well,
or what?
you said you wanted some free food. I mean, come on, man.
Well, listen, free food, it means I'd have to stand out in front of someplace and beg for it because you didn't give me no money on the credit card, as usual.
No, that credit card's unlimited funds. Unlimited funds.
See, David, I told you, nice guy.
Unlimited funds are zero, guys. Unlimited funds are zero for Barry. I know you just.
No, E.T. sitting there sipping on his latte and.
Latte. I've never had.
I can imagine how that went off.
You can't, KGT. You know exactly how that went off.
I can't hear you. You're laughing too loud. Quit laughing.
Hey, how's my buddy Drax doing?
Drax doing fine. Talked to him today. He's doing well.
Okay. I know he's got a lot of pressure on him right now on that bit on the school board down there.
No, he doesn't have any pressure.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pressure on him. We'll see. He's a man, though. He can handle it.
Well, how's your weather?
Oh, man, listen, you wouldn't believe the weather down here. If I told you 87 every day.
87.
We've been here, going to be here for a couple more days, and it's supposed to be 87 to the point where we even leave. So
is that right?
Not a cloud in the sky, nowhere, no rain, no nothing. You couldn't ask really for a better time, and be honest, not very crowded.
How many bedrooms you got down there?
Just one.
You better watch it, David. See the freeloader coming this way.
You know what he'd have told you, E.T., if I'd have said two? Can't do the rest of the show by yourself. I'm going home to get my mom. We're going down to the Orange Beach where Queener's at. I know exactly what he'd have done. Hey, guys, high school sports about to wrap up, isn't it?
It's we were just talking a little earlier. Had some championship games tonight in the district final, so getting ready for the regional.
Ready for the regional. All right, guys, I just wanted to check in. And, hey, has Triple D
No, he's off tonight. He's off tonight.
I understand he's putting a big feeding on for Coach Gaddis, having a big celebration for Coach Gaddis in a couple of weeks.
Good.
He's gonna have a big barbecue and everything down there. So I thought he might call tonight and invite me and you, Barry. I didn't know.
No, not the way you hound him. I'm not expecting.
No, I don't hound him.
I'm not expecting anything.
He likes Coach Gaddis like I do, and we have a little bit in common. And he just tolerates you, but he prays for you a lot, which you need, and I need too. And that's all it is. So you just leave Triple D alone.
I've got him. I've got his back.
Determination. If you've got those three things in life and some other things, you're in good shape according to him.
Determination.
That's exactly right, buddy. Hey guys, take it easy. I'll see you next Wednesday, Barry.
Okay, buddy. Be careful.
See you, David.
I see you.
Where'd they go? What part of Florida?
Orange Beach. Well, where it's free, that's where they went. I mean, you know.
Is he on a school function or a police function?
I can't divulge. It's got to be. It's free.
Well, today was David Queener Day in Clinton, and he wasn't there.
Well, that may have something to do with it. That may be.
He run him out of town. That's what that has
may be.
to do with.
Let's take a break. We'll regroup here after that phone call. We'll be right back.
Oh, Lordy.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Mulch & More in Midtown is your landscaping headquarters. Mulch & More offers mulch, the best topsoil in the area. All types of gravel, sand, pea gravel, either loose or in bags, creek rock, river rock, field stone, mountain mist stone, railroad cross ties, straw bales, fence posts, farm gates, and much more. Mulch & More offers backhoe and dump truck service. And Mulch & More can also demolish a house or building on your property, and they'll haul it off for you. Give Gary a call today at 865-740-5229 for Mulch & More in Midtown.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
In today's world, you don't stay in business long without providing exceptional customer service. The Duff family has been providing exceptional customer service for over 44 years. Our customers rate us highly, as shown by the fact we're the only dealer in Tennessee to have earned the Subaru Love Promise Award for 7 years in a row. Check our online reviews or ask your friends. They'll tell you to come to Earl Duff Subaru, where buying is a pleasure.
Choose financing as low as 0% on all new 2018 Forester models at Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Welcome back to the locker room, and glad to have E.T. with us again tonight. Now we've got the phone call out of the way from
good night.
From
what did he say about the drink?
From Mr. Queener. He just laughed. You know how he carries on. But let's look at Oak Ridge's schedule.
Right.
We're going to start off at Hardin Valley this year. Used to in the past, a couple years they were starting off at Farragut.
Right.
But now they've got Hardin Valley, at Hardin Valley, a team that that ET has been pretty good over the last couple of years.
And the way that community's growing, they'll
That's
continue being tough.
That's a
You know,
hard that's a
they'll-
hard place to go win. So
Absolutely, especially right from the first game. And then look where they go, or Dobbins Bennett comes
well,
in.
and that's you know, that's been a second game for them for a couple of years. And they've had some success, and then have faltered a little
Right,
bit
exactly.
at
It's not an easy
at
schedule.
Dobbins Bennett. So Dobbins Bennett is a formidable opponent, and then you come back, you stay home against Campbell County.
Right.
And Campbell County is a team that's caused them some problems, but they've been able to get the wins.
Exactly.
But the Price boys you talk about an offense.
Well, it's wide open. They usually have a good quarterback, and they'll have a couple good receivers.
Yep.
And then if you need that scat back in case things break down, you need somebody who can gain you 7 or 8 yards, keep you in a wide open situation. Don't know what they lost, Ron. We haven't seen any write-ups on most of these teams. But as excited as that community is in Campbell County, I grant you he's got some ball players.
I was talking to some folks in Campbell County yesterday, and I said, Price boys still getting whatever they want,
Yep.
anything
I
they
would
want.
think as long as they got Langston Hill in town.
Anything they want.
Exactly. Now, I've
Anything
heard
they
some
want.
rumors that they either had an interest or had an interview at one of the Morristown
Yes,
East or West. Okay.
That's right, because he mentioned the fact that he said, you know, we'll eventually lose them. We won't
Okay, so obviously they're back,
Yeah.
and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Then Farragut,
Wow.
Gee, I know, just keeps getting stronger. I
I
don't
watched,
see nothing easy about this schedule.
I watched Farragut the other day for a few moments. Gone over for a baseball game, and they were having spring practice. And you know, the really good thing too about these artificial turfs, and you just go out in the spring, and you don't have to worry about your Bermuda coming in yet or anything.
Exactly, exactly.
You just go right out and
go and do
practice
it.
on it. You know, and a lot of people probably would not think anything about it, but it's like basketball. When you're practicing on the facility you're playing in,
Difference.
you know, you start to feel comfortable on places on the field, right?
Absolutely.
You know, you and the quarterback can, you know, we're going down to the soft spot down there.
I've often wondered about, you made that statement, I've often wondered about these colleges that's got that second gym, and they practice in the second gym. Well, you're still not shooting at that main goal.
I've
you know.
never understood that.
You know, and I've noticed the practice facility doesn't have that wide open look, and you go into
Big
Thompson Bowling,
difference.
boy, and all of a sudden you just got a little bitty rim and a big
I mean,
atmosphere.
and especially when you go into the NCAA tournament in these huge places.
Gotcha.
And there it is, just a little stanchion there with the goal on. I don't understand
That's
the
totally right.
basketball.
Right.
You're on the air? You're on the air? Hello, caller. Yeah, we lost him. Yeah, I've never understood why you would not want to be, you know, and especially that corner shot. How can you get comfortable in that corner shot?
How do you get aimed in here? And the women too, they practice off
Yeah.
the site, so never understood that.
But the Farragut game, that's another tough one. And then Knox West, you go. Then you're on the road for 3, at Knox West, and Knox
County will
West
be
has
tough.
had a pretty good team the last couple of years.
They have, right.
Sevier County, another tough place to win, especially there. Smoky Bears have been pretty tough. They were down a little bit last year, but they're still pretty tough. And then you go to Carnes, and Carnes probably out of that district probably one of the weaker teams.
Well, the weaker teams, they came to Clinton at the last game of the year, and they beat Clinton in the close ball game. Now, they got the ability to pull one out of a game maybe they shouldn't win at somebody else's park. So you just don't know what they have from. And then they have an open date, and then, of course, Clinton Powell. And here you go, they got the Fulton.
So they go to Clinton. They come to Clinton, and
Yeah.
that's always a huge. Wonder, does that game draw better if they play it earlier in the year?
If both teams was having a good year, yes. I think by the time that game rolls around, if you're not having a good year, I'm not sure you're drawing well at that point in time.
Would that not be a good opening game?
Yeah, for a gate-wise.
Yeah.
And Clinton's only got 4 home games this year.
I
They
mean,
had
I
6 last
often just
year.
wonder that rivalry
Yep.
game. If you can get that thing right off the bat,
Yep.
everybody's fired up, ready to see.
Just like Clinton Anderson County, that's like
Exactly.
the third game, and they'll
Exactly.
be packed at that time. If Clinton wins the first 2, as you predicted there.
And then Powell, and then you end up with Fulton, and probably the Fulton game will be huge.
Oh, absolutely.
Be huge.
Did the quarterback come back for Fulton? Was he a junior? Or was
this
he
is
big,
last year.
big kid? Okay. You figure if he can run the ball club and run at will and throw at will, again,
he
they'll
may
have
be
the athletes.
He may be a Mr. Football finalist.
Maybe, absolutely.
Because they say, when they came in as a freshman, of course, and David hangs out over there a lot.
Sure.
They were saying, as a freshman, that he could be the best they've had over there.
Well, when,
Athlete, not quarterback. Athlete.
When Rodney Ellison left Clinton and went to Powell, I think he had 2 or 3 quarterbacks trying to get the job, and he elected to go with a freshman. Well, he's a senior now. But to get 4 years behind the center,
A lot of
by
difference.
golly, that's a big deal. And he got Matt Lowe coming back in Powell. Wouldn't be surprised if Rodney Ellison didn't leave him with a little talent. Of course, Rodney got a good gig over at Catholic, so everybody made out well there. I wonder what's there. Let's say an 8-year period of time at Powell. They've had 5 coaches, 6 coaches. What's going on?
Well, I think a lot of it is, they've had a couple athletic directors, so you haven't had any more stability in
Stability
the
than
athletic
that.
director than you have with the coaches.
Right.
So somebody, and in most cases, a lot of these guys aren't teaching at the school; they're teaching somewhere else, coming over as a football coach.
That's not good.
I don't know that that's the case there,
Right,
but
right.
but in a lot of the Knoxville schools,
That happens.
that's happening.
Okay.
And that's not a good deal. You're not really buying into the community like somebody that's.
Well, didn't
that's
Matt
living
Lowe
right
leave Powell in kind of disarray when he left there? And now who wants him back?
He went to. I think they had made a
Concord
nice run.
Christian?
Took either a semifinal or final in football. Then he says he wants out, spend some time with his family. Takes a year off. Goes to King's Academy.
Okay.
Starts a program.
Tough.
Starts
tough
a
thing to do.
program.
You're right.
And then stays there 4 or 5 years and has it
Up and going.
up and going.
All right.
And of course it's in the private sector, so
Sure.
it may be a little easier
Sure.
than playing some of the public schools. But then decides now to come back home to Powell, and he may not have changed residences. I mean, he may have
They've always stayed there.
he may have stayed in Powell.
Gotcha.
But King's Academy, I know one of the Weekly boys is the softball coach up there. They have a dynasty.
Seriously.
They have a dynasty. They've won the state championship.
When you say Weekly, is that Ralph's son?
That's his son.
Okay. Right.
And he has a daughter that is a senior this year. His brother had a daughter who signed last year with I want to say Temple or somebody. They played UT this year. They
Okay.
UT had them on
Okay.
their schedule so she could come home and play. But,
Well, good.
But he's got about, I'm going to guess on their wall up there, they probably have 15 to 20 kids who have signed scholarships since he's been there, and that program's only about 5 years old.
You're right.
He had a freshman pitcher last year come in, and it's a private school, so they come in from
Okay.
I think she might have been from Newport or somewhere up in that
Is
area.
that a Baptist school? Is it a church affiliation?
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
I'm sure it is. I'm not sure which.
Okay.
But she has like a .95 earned run average this year, and they're in the same. And the reason I was there is my granddaughter plays at Davidson Academy in Nashville, and they're in the same region.
Okay.
When it comes to the region games, and they've got a really nice facility up there, but King's Academy will be. You're not going to win a state high school softball championship
Right.
in the private sector unless you beat King's Academy.
Wow. Wow. Well, Gibbs, well, it'd been a private, it wouldn't be with.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Gibbs is still going to be tough in the.
Well, they dropped
in
down,
the
yeah.
Double A.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they will be tough, but but what's happening at Powell? You know, Powell went from about 9-1 to not winning many games, sort of like Halls.
Exactly. Exactly right.
Uh,
They've got a new coach, harder to get a new coach? Okay.
So the face of high school football is, is really changing. Not many schools are going to have the tenured coach now of
I don't
15,
think
20 years. It's just not.
I think it's tough even with the Powell job. I've just heard in gossip that there's a realtor in Powell that evidently does extremely well and is a big donor. And they wanted Mr. Lowe to come back. Because I'd always heard rambling with the Ellison coach that the word force was always used, like forced out. It's, man, what he's done with this ball club, why would you put a guy like this?
How could you do that?
But this person that writes big checks wants Mr. Lowe back.
Isn't it amazing? It doesn't matter what level.
Oh,
you write a check big enough, and
you'll hear about this in Optimist League.
there are enough zeros on the thing.
Exactly. Well, you take one check away from athletic department in high school, makes a big dent. So, and they're at the level. Got new artificial turf, nice little football stadium. I've always liked the look over there, and it's like Rodney Ellison. He was the offensive coordinator when Darian Stone was at Clinton. He had a good offensive mind, low key, really liked the guy, and when he got the job,
he did well at Wartburg. He turned Wartburg around.
Before Clinton, absolutely.
And since we're talking about Oak Ridge's schedule, you talk about Clinton, you talk about Farragut, you talk about all of the Knoxville schools now with turf,
right?
And it left Oak Ridge really scrambling to try to stay up, because they fancied their facilities. I mean, Blankenship was the premier place, not only the surface but the stadium,
exactly,
everything with it, the tradition. So they're having to hustle a little bit to play catch up.
Money's hard to come by anymore, and they were. I think the number they were going after is $1 million to redo the press box and so forth like that. Don't know how that's going. We've put at Clinton. We've put AstroTurf on the sidelines from about the 20 to 20. That's what wears out first, and if you have some wet games, really wears out first. So this gives the cheerleaders something to stand on, plus both teams to stand on.
And how's the indoor facility working out?
Indoor facility's great. I've noticed they've had some soccer camps because you got 40 yards in there. So there's certain things you can do. But 2 weeks ago, Ron, there was 6 teams in there practicing, and nobody was in nobody's way.
16.
Plus the football team was lifting weights. And noise didn't seem to be a problem there. You had coaches screaming. But it's such a large area with 40-foot ceiling, that kind of gets lost out. You don't pick up on really anything like that. You had baseball. It was a rainy day, and it was getting close to district play. Softball pitchers were throwing on one side. Baseball pitchers were actually pitching. And they were hitting some ground balls at the other end of the 40-yard. That's pretty neat, and ROTC was doing something with the flags. So it's pretty neat. They've moved some classrooms from Clinton High School over there, wellness programs, so forth and so on, in the media rooms where they can use the big screen for email, for internet service like that. So it has worked out. Everything that Joe wanted that to accomplish, it's accomplished.
Wow. Well, that's you gonna give him a plug?
Joe Hollingsworth?
He deserves a plug.
Yeah, well, he's the guy that. This was an idea, but it was an idea without any money, and we had some blueprints.
Which is a dead idea. Isn't it?
Exactly. We had some blueprints, Ron, that had a sports facility with 15-foot ceilings, and everybody was kind of, when they see the prints, what sport you going to play in this thing? So Joe got it, and of course he came up with some new blueprints. But with those new blueprints with 40-foot ceiling, that just added zeros. But we did have a number at that point in time, and got into the alumni. They've stepped up, especially the 80s, from 80 to 90. I don't know. Maybe that's still the working class of age group, and a lot of them had done well. And it wasn't anything to get a check daily, whether it was a $37 check or a $75,000 check. And we were getting stuff like this. Industry got involved. We had 2 or 3 industries to throw 6 figures at us, and the next thing we know, could you realize we're up to 700,000? And then we went 300,000 past that. We raised $1 million. Wow! And then of course Joe was doing his people were actually, and the thing about that, Ron, concrete was free, but Joe was building 3 big plants in Alabama and he gave all 3 plants in Alabama, let's say they were 100,000 square foot buildings. He gave that concrete company all 3 jobs that they would donate the concrete up at Clinton. Well, sure, can we pour at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? Pour whenever you want to.
Sure.
That's how Joe Hollingsworth does it. He had 75,000 knocked off all the ironwork, just everything like that.
You can do those kinds of things when you have people that have the ability to get it done.
That's how that got done, to be honest with you. Yes, there's a lot of money raised, but that got the total of that building back down to, you know. So.
Well, that's Oak Ridge's schedule, and as always, Coach Mullins has put out an attractive schedule.
Absolutely.
So you're going to get Dobbins, Bennett, Campbell County, Farragut, and Powell and Fulton at home.
Wow.
That's not a bad.
Wow.
That you better get your season tickets ready, because when you're closing with Fulton, you don't have to probably rely on anybody for help. You know, with that game being number 10, that's probably for the district championship.
Oh, absolutely. Before we run out of time, with Cofield losing their outstanding quarterback, been taking snaps since 8th grade.
Yep.
What are they going to do? I mean, how do you come up with a quarterback to replace?
They're just sort of like Anderson County. They'll just
keep
find
reloading.
They'll just find somebody.
Well,
and the thing about it is, their offense is real similar. You know, they're going to throw it. Everybody knows they're going to throw it. Now, if they have to bring in, you know, a real young quarterback, you know, you may see him. His brother may step up and play quarterback.
How
he was
big
a
would
wide
he be?
receiver. Well, he won't be much smaller than Parker.
His size would be a different in a freshman quarterback.
No, he won't. I mean, but I'm just saying, if he were to be the quarterback,
right,
you know, you don't lose as much then. But they just do the same thing. I mean, it's hard to imagine a small community like that.
With the same coach too.
You just keep reloading and just reloading and just
what works
keep
for you.
That's right.
What works for you.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Let's switch gears just a moment.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff in the paper about UT and UT's coach, and he's got off to a little rough start with you know, criticizing the fans a little bit. And if I were him, I'd look at my schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'd say,
well,
I better be a little nicer here, because boys, this is as tough as it's going to get.
But you've hit a nerve with what you're saying his attitude is versus Butch Jones.
Oh yeah.
Would you not welcome this guy?
Oh
even though.
But what I'm saying, with a schedule like now, if I'd have had Butch's schedule last year, I might have said something else.
Yeah.
But my point is, how can it get any tougher when you have Florida, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, South Carolina, Kentucky, Missouri, and Vanderbilt
all in a row? Charlotte stuck in there somewhere. Yeah.
But my point is, if you've got Florida, Georgia, Auburn, and Alabama, that's the 2 toughest out of the West and the 2 toughest out of the East.
Right. I totally agree with you. So
it's you know, next year you get Mississippi State in place of Auburn. That's going to change. That's not going to be as tough. But this one, first year out, that's about as tough as it gets. And then you throw in West Virginia to open.
Oh, yeah, and then East Tennessee State. That's neat that they'll be coming down to Knoxville. Does it a lot play on the quarterback that we haven't seen yet?
I think there's so much at stake in the West Virginia game. You know, if you can win the West Virginia game, you can probably win 6 games, because you're going to win the rest of the non-conference games. So that's going to be 4.
Yeah, you would. Right.
And you should be able to come and win either 2 out of the Kentucky, Missouri, and Vanderbilt.
Right.
Now, what they're saying is that South Carolina could be vying for the East Championship.
Well, we'd know by then.
I mean, he's got the quarterback that's back. Defensively now, he's going to be stronger. He's recruited, for 3 years, so he's going to. So they're saying South Carolina could be could be a sleeper in the East.
Well, by October the 27th, you'll definitely know by South Carolina how that season has gone. I think the new quarterback coming in now.
Well, we'll probably know more about South Carolina because I think typically South Carolina and Georgia play early in the year.
Right.
And if that's the case, you know, the winner of that game would probably have the inside seat, wouldn't it?
Pruitt came out of the orange and white game, had one statement that really stuck with me. He said they quit on me. Now, what have we been seeing out of Butch Jones' clubs? They've been quitting. I thought they'd been quitting. So he saw it again. So
the only difference was he called them out on it. Butch Jones didn't.
Butch didn't. Exactly right. Exactly. Oh, I think he would find somebody to step in there and won't quit on him. May not be on scholarship, but
the West Virginia game will be a big plus. You win that game, and then you probably, you know, you should be 3-0 with Florida coming to town.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a big plus.
Sure,
should
absolutely.
be a big plus.
Georgia will be tough. Auburn, Alabama.
You know, then you go to Georgia.
You go to Auburn.
And I think we've got an open date. We've got an open date between Georgia and Auburn.
You do.
So
right.
so that's gonna help. That's gonna be a much needed open date. But when you see, and that's why I think, E.T., I think you got to reevaluate playing Alabama every year.
I think so.
To avoid this exact situation.
Same thing happening again. Exactly right. Totally right.
You know, when you're playing Alabama, and it was okay when Alabama wasn't, and Alabama may not be loaded for forever and ever, but when you take on the best in the West every year, you're one game behind everybody else in the East even.
That's going to be the same topic.
Right.
Of getting away from orange and white football uniforms. Just take away the third Saturday in October.
Well, but I'm just saying, at some point you got to.
I totally agree.
You got to look at it, don't you?
But who's the AD? Well, we're not going to do away with the Alabama game. I don't think.
No, but I just think the way this, you know, it wouldn't be quite as bad if the West games didn't count as much as the East games. But what happens in our situation is the West dictates who wins the East.
Exactly right. Right.
And it's all based on that other game. Now, this year it's Auburn. Next year it's Mississippi State. So that's gonna lighten the load a little bit next year. But
you'd be satisfied with 6 wins this year?
Absolutely. Be love it.
Probably go to a bowl game.
Go to a bowl game. You get extra 20 days of practice.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Right.
That's the key.
Right. Exactly right. There's an article saying he's way behind in recruiting. Number-wise or talent-wise? What were they? I didn't see the whole article.
I guess what
5
it is.
5 stars, 4 stars. What
well, no, I think what they're saying is that they're still not where they need to be to compete, like they need to compete.
Well, that's
and that's not going to happen, you know, probably for a couple of years. You know, the thing that's, to me, where we missed the boat with Butch Jones was not winning the East when Georgia and Florida were both down.
Down, exactly right.
Right.
And he couldn't pull that off.
That's when you win the East.
Exactly. I totally agree.
And now, and I think the one game that set the program back more than anything. I mean, I was sitting at home on Saturday afternoon. We're playing Vanderbilt. We beat Vanderbilt. We're going to the Sugar Bowl.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm making travel plans.
Couldn't pull that off.
And couldn't pull a game against Vanderbilt off for a Sugar Bowl berth. I think that was probably an all-time low.
What do you think the problem is at UT with letting so many people go? And they go from chancellor all the way down to a receiver coach and everything in between, and having to pay everybody in the world off. What's the problem? Is the president? Is the influence of the House?